Are you having trouble getting to work? Believe me, I get it. Now that we're in the day and age of freelancing and entrepreneurship and working from home, productivity is of the utmost concern, and it can be really, really difficult. So you're probably wondering, well, how can I overcome my lack of productivity, get more done, overcome periods of laziness or just a general lack of motivation, and actually start to be productive? And why are you feeling like this in the first place? So we're going to be talking about all of this in today's video. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Sherry Krasaniak, and this is Ready, Set, Psych. Here at my channel, we talk about all sorts of different psychology-related topics, including personality psychology, relationships, self-improvement, well-being, and so on and so forth. If it's psychology-related and in my wheelhouse of knowledge, so to speak, we're probably going to talk about it at some point on this channel. Now, if you are having issues with productivity, believe you me, I get it. I am feeling it right now with the weather being so nice outside. It's been very, very difficult to be productive. Perhaps you are relying too much on motivation to get you going to be productive, and you're finding out that that doesn't really work so well. Maybe you've just overworked yourself. You've been working too hard for too long, and now you're starting to burn out. Maybe your work is just boring or uninspired, and you've kind of lost the spark or the interest. Maybe your tasks feel overwhelming. You're not even really sure where to begin. My point is, there can be a whole ton of reasons as to why you're feeling unproductive. And today I'm going to be sharing with you 10 tips and strategies from psychology to help you overcome this productivity slump. Now, keep in mind that some of these tips might work better for you compared to others. Everybody's a little bit different, so you might have to kind of experiment to see what works best for you. Let's get started. So my first tip for you is to find ways to incentivize yourself. If you're... Oh my God. So my first major tip for you is to find ways to incentivize yourself. If you're doing a task and there's no push behind why you're doing it, it's going to be very hard to get yourself to do that thing, especially if it's something that you don't really want to do in the first place. So in learning psychology, we talk a lot about this idea of reinforcement and punishment. We get reinforced for behaviors that are quote-unquote good, and thereby it encourages us to want to do that thing more. Whereas on the flip side, we might get punished for a behavior that is quote-unquote bad, thereby decreasing the likelihood that we will engage in that behavior in the future. This is called operant conditioning. And you can kind of do the same thing to yourself. So if you have a task that you know is going to be unpleasant, that you don't really want to do, but you have to do it in order to be productive, try to set up kind of a reinforcement and punishment system for yourself. So maybe you could set up a reinforcement. If you do this task, or if you work for a certain number of hours, reward yourself with something. It can be anything. It could be taking a break, watching a video that you really like. It could be eating your favorite snack. It could be taking a walk during this beautiful time of day. Whatever it might be, you get to pick whatever your reward is. It doesn't have to be anything huge or expensive, just something that you personally find reinforcing. I find it also helps when people focus on some kind of a long-term goal that they might have. This can also be a big incentive. So maybe you're in a job that you don't really love, but there's a bigger purpose behind it. Maybe it's to get food on your family's table. Maybe it's a stepping stone in your career where you know you have to work at this place for a certain amount of time in order to move up in your chosen field, whatever it might be. So sometimes focusing on that bigger goal can be a really great incentive to help you stay productive. My second tip for you is to reduce distractions as much as possible. And I feel like this is a very, very difficult one in the modern world where we are so surrounded by different distractions like social media and cell phones and all sorts of different things, right? We always have a device so close, and our attention spans have just become basically nothing nowadays. So distractions are a really, really bad thing when it comes to your productivity. So as much as you can, you want to eliminate these during periods where you are trying to be productive. This means put your cell phone somewhere else, or at least put it on silent and only take emergency calls and things like that. No YouTube. I know that's a tough one. You can finish this video, of course, but generally speaking, no YouTube during periods where you're trying to be productive, no television, anything that is personally distracting to you. So anything that might take you away from your work, just try to put it aside during that period, and you really do have to be very strict with yourself on this. My third tip is to practice consistency as much as you can. In order to be productive, it can be really helpful to train ourselves, right? To train our brains to expect certain things at certain times. So something that I really like to do is write out a schedule for myself. I will take my planner, and sometimes I will even go so far as to write out what I'm supposed to be doing for every hour of the day. And, you know, this is real life. I don't always match that schedule exactly, but it at least gives me something to go off of so that I'm not flying by the seat of my pants when I'm trying to be productive. It's also really nice to where I don't have to think about all the things that I'm supposed to be doing. It's written down for me and it's scheduled out so that all of that thinking isn't distracting me. I can just focus on the work itself. And I'll tell you right now, a lot more gets done if I schedule it versus just doing work as I think of it. So write this out for yourself, pin it somewhere where you can see it, where you will be held responsible for it, or you could set reminders on your phone, whatever it takes you to start the work and be productive. To go along with this, I also really suggest trying to work in a space that is separate from where you do other things. And this is really more applicable to those of you who work from home. Try to set aside a space that is your office space. If you have an office, perfect, that's fantastic. Only do work in your office. If you have to be a bit more creative, maybe you don't have a home office like me, I'm in a tiny, tiny space, so I don't have such a luxury, but I do try to have a little space that is my work nook, and I try not to do other things there. So when I am sitting at my table, I know, okay, it's work time, I have to buckle down. If I'm sitting somewhere else, now it's free time, now it's family time, I'm off the clock, so to speak. But it can really help your brain kind of click into gear and know when it's time to work and know when it's time to do other stuff. My fourth tip for you is to please, for goodness sakes, please stop trying to multitask. No, you are not good at this. I know a lot of people think that they are, but I'm sorry, the psychology research would suggest otherwise. What really happens when people try to multitask is they have to switch their focus from one task to another. It's not really actually possible for our minds to fully focus on two different tasks at once. So what's really happening is task switching. I'm focusing on one task for a little bit, and oh, now my attention goes over to this other task and I have to focus on that for a little bit. And every time I switch my focus, it takes time. It reduces efficiency. And what research shows is that trying to multitask, even just on two different things, decreases our efficiency and our accuracy at those tasks by a significant degree. So it's really not a good idea to do this if you can avoid it in your job. I know not all of us can, but if you can, just try to minimize it. Focus on one task at a time, do that task to the best of your ability until it's finished or until you hit whatever goal you want to hit, and then go to the next task. My fifth tip for you is to take breaks. Breaks are really, really important, and I know that this might seem counterintuitive, because if you're on a break, then you're clearly not being productive. But I promise you, if you build in breaks, if you give your mind time to rest, you will be more productive during those periods where you are trying to get work done. And this goes into just having realistic expectations for what you are capable of. Now, if you are in a flow state in your work, and what I mean by this is that you are in the groove, you are interested in what you're doing, you're captivated by your work, nothing is going to pull you out of this state, then that's fantastic. That is awesome. That is what you want in your work. But if you get a lot of flow states, I'm going to presume that you wouldn't be watching this video most likely. You're probably having productivity issues, not having good productivity. So if you're feeling a bit sluggish, a bit slow with your work, maybe you've gotten a lot done, but now you're just kind of feeling like you're on the verge of burning out, that's a really bad sign. That means you've been working too hard for too long, and it is definitely time to take a break. So my general recommendation is try to take about 5 to 10 minutes of break time for every hour that you are productive. And this is a very general kind of recommendation, so you should definitely tailor this to your own specific circumstances and what you need. But during this time, you can do things like you can go on a brisk walk, maybe read a couple pages of a book, maybe watch a quick YouTube video, but nothing that will be too distracting for you that will end up pulling you away from work for an extended period of time. So make sure it's not too much fun, but just something to kind of get your brain to switch gears a little bit and to just kind of relax and de-stress. Also make sure that you're taking days off sometimes from work as well as vacation days. So try to, if you can, to take at least one day off per week. I know sometimes schedules get crazy or money can be hard to come by, so we have to work more than we really should. But ideally, you should be taking off at least one day a week to kind of recoup and relax a little bit. And on the days that you do work, also ideally, you won't be working more than, say, maybe about 8 hours a day. My 6th tip is to break it down. Break down that massive project that you've been feeling overwhelmed with into smaller parts that become more approachable, more doable for you to actually get started. It can be extremely daunting looking at a massive project as a whole and wondering, where on earth do I get started? I need to get all this work done. This project is so huge, but you have no idea where to start. So break it up. And I would say using a checklist can be really, really awesome here, because you will quickly find that you are able to get tasks done and you're making progress toward that goal, and you are seeing the progress as you are making it, and you'll feel the productivity. And that can be really reinforcing for you to keep wanting to work on that thing to get closer to the goal. Depending on the type of project that you're working on, you can also take the approach of doing the easier tasks first and getting those out of the way, and then kind of working your way up to those more difficult, challenging tasks. So it's kind of like a warm-up before the big storm, so to speak. My 7th tip is to stop procrastinating and just get started. This is something that really works well for me. So if I have been procrastinating doing something for a really long time and my other strategies just aren't cutting it, I stop giving myself time to think about it. And if it pops into my head, so that dreaded task pops into my head and I'm not doing anything else important, I don't give myself time to think about it and I just get started on it. So for example, if let's say that I'm a student and I have this horrible paper that I have to write, and I've been putting it off, and it's due in a couple days, and I really just need to get started on it. Well, great news. I'm thinking about it right now, so I'm going to open up the Word document, I'm going to open up my resources, and I'm just going to start writing something. Even if it's not very good, I'm going to just try to get started on it. The reason why I find this works is because, well, you get started doing something, and personally, I find that when it comes to being productive on something that I don't want to do, the hardest part is just starting. Just starting the project is the hardest part. And then once I get going with it, I realize that this really wasn't that intimidating or difficult or boring in the first place. And now I'm actually making progress on it. And hey, I want to be done with this thing, so I'm going to keep going until it's finished. So for me, this is a strategy that really works out very, very well, and it oftentimes kind of puts me into a productive spiral. It's also a great feeling knowing that I made myself do something that I did not want to do, which brings me into the next point. My 8th tip for you is to work on your discipline. This is something that we can all have a little bit more of. It is so, so important. The reason why I haven't included motivation on this list is because motivation comes and goes. We might get spurts of it that kind of push us into being productive for a while, but it doesn't always last very long. But discipline is a skill that you can train yourself in. And when all else fails, discipline is the key to productivity. Because regardless of how you feel about it, regardless of whether that task is interesting for you or fun, you know that you have to do it, and therefore you're going to do it. That's what discipline is all about, making yourself do things that you know you have to do. It means fulfilling your obligations and not giving into maybe lazy types of tendencies. Now, this does take a lot of practice. It means getting yourself into a schedule and not letting yourself break that schedule even if you don't feel like doing something. So you do have to be strict with yourself. But the more you practice discipline, the easier it gets over time. But I really do promise you that the most productive people often have extremely good discipline skills. They don't just feel motivated all the time and just constantly love what they're doing. They just happen to be extremely disciplined people. And that's what pushes them through the hard times even when they don't feel like doing something. My 9th tip is to try to work on things that you love. And once again, I know this is not a luxury that we all have, but I have to include it because when people work on things that they enjoy or that they love or that motivate and inspire them, they are naturally more productive. It's just how it works. When we are engaged in a task that we find personally enjoyable and personally reinforcing and we get something out of that, then of course we're going to want to work on that thing more. We're going to be more efficient, we're going to be more engaged, we're going to get more done. So if you have an option at all in terms of your work as to what it is that you're doing, then try to choose things that captivate you, that you actually want to work on. The less something feels like real work, probably the more productive you're going to be at it. And if you're not able to personalize your work like that, that's totally fine, I get that. Try to focus on the parts that you love the most. So maybe you're doing something at work and there's parts of it that you just really don't like and they're kind of a slog and you just have to get through them. But there are other parts that are actually kind of enjoyable and you do like those parts. Try to focus on those parts. Just push through the parts that you don't like so that you can get to the parts that you do enjoy, that you're going to be more naturally productive at. And my last and final tip, tip number 10, is to work on your mental health. This is a really, really important one when it comes to psychology, because sometimes issues with focus and productivity isn't just because we don't like a task. It can actually stem from a bigger issue. So if you're finding that your productivity issues are impacting multiple areas of your life, all areas of your life, then there might be something bigger at play. You also might be experiencing other sorts of symptoms. It is true that happier, mentally healthier individuals tend to be more focused and more productive just naturally in terms of what they do. And mental health issues like anxiety and depression can negatively impact your ability to get things done. Your mental health really does impact a lot about the quality of your life. So if you feel like this is a bigger issue and that these sorts of tips just are not going to cut it and it's a much larger problem in your life, definitely reach out to a mental health professional. Okay, so that wraps up my 10 tips for better productivity. I definitely wish you luck in using these tips. Let me know in the comments down below if any of these tips particularly resonated with you, if you think they're going to work for you, or if you have tips of your own. I would love to know about them. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Ding that notification bell if you want more uploads from me. And of course, remember to subscribe if you like this content and you want more psychology-related videos from me. I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye.